And when we talk progressively, because when it was our time, already a solid foundation was laid. But the 4x4s is because it was too much restriction. You only select one per team. The camping and the call-up, it was like short. You know, you travel to Nigeria, you have to go Wednesday, you train once and you play.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I think that was, but us, we were more fortunate because now before all this, the AFCON and other big tournaments, we have to play for Nations Cups, where we play all those big guns in the Four Nations, the Nigeria, all them. So that is why it wasn't easy, but it became easy. It looked easy when we played the AFCON because already we knew who we were gonna face against, all those big guns, and how to tackle them, and you understand?
Yeah.
That's really helped us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all those steps were cut off. Because now, the reason we're not doing well, there's a lot of shortcuts. There's no more Four Nations Cup, there's no more this, that prepares you to the bigger occasion.
I think Madumeja hits it on the nail. There are a few things, Robert, just before you judge in that maybe we can learn from 96. One of them is exactly that the team played a lot of friendlies and quality opposition before the tournament.
Yeah.
So by the time they played, a lot of these players, Ivory Coast, Ghana, we had already played them several times before. We had a few players that were already playing overseas. And they were there on merit and they were playing regularly. They were not bench warmers. They were there, they were playing regularly.
Exactly.
So they could come in and even contribute to the tactics and to everything else that was being done, critical. Thirdly, there was a whole bunch of people who were involved in managing the team by way of a think tank that had Clive Barker, Jomo Sono, the late Baji Ben, the late Pitanyama, and all of those guys, who all came, would spy on the teams and come back and contribute to the tactics and all of this think tank. But there was also the Madiba factor, which was not there in 1992, which was there in 1985, 1995, which was there in 1996, and all of these things, you know, ensured that we can create a team that was no longer scared of anything. So if there's anything that the current crop management and team should learn, is to organize as many quality friendlies as possible for the national team, not only the senior national team, but also for the under-23 and the under-20s. The same way, you know, Banyana, a lot of people are saying, how come have Banyana succeed? But there are a lot of things that Banyana have done that were done in 1996. I mean, they play a lot of quality opposition here at the tournament. They have a think tank. They have a few players that play overseas, but they have a lot of local, hungry players that are prepared to learn from these guys. And you could see how those girls were playing. I mean, they were free to express themselves, but they kept their structure and they were extremely disciplined in how they played. I mean, they had very few fouls. And yet they were in the opposition box on so many occasions. But they defended as a unit, as you could see. And you must just see how they moved. You know, all of them, Nokumatlo, Mashing that defend, that defense and the back. Bambanani, and going forward and spreading those passes. Exactly how 1996 team played.
But let's talk about some of the unspoken about issues. So the team is being put down. You guys are camping at Sunnyside Hotel in Parktown.
Yeah, it was the hotel there.
That was the Bafana Hotel. But let's also not lose sight. Doc might have mentioned it as a throwaway thing, but the Madiba factor. Was something that I don't think we have seen, because, I mean, here's somebody who's everybody's in awe of. Just a moment, if he can just walk past you, the most excited human being ever. But he makes it his point that almost every day, he comes to Sunnyside and has, whether it's lunch or something, but with the team. And from stories that have been told, is that he eventually gets to almost know each and every single player by name. And already that's an injection of confidence for a guy who's been in prison for 27 years, is a president, is this and that. And how important was that to the team's makeup, Doc, and just how they felt good about themselves, but also making sure that when they get to the final, this person that has sacrificed his mornings to be there, his evenings to be there, that this collective doesn't disappoint him?
Robert, you've been to the stadium many occasions, and you've watched a lot of games on television, including South Africa's games. You know the difference between listening to the national anthem from home on television and being at the stadium.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you a certain level of national pride and gives you a certain emotion and amount of national responsibility. Just the anthem. Now, if you have a president that is so much involved in the game and who takes their time, these guys will tell you, sometimes Madiba, the office would phone and say, his schedule is very, very tight. He needs to see us at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
At 5:30 he'd be in camp, coming to...
In terms of involvement. Right. So Madiba's involvement was pre-tournament.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was during tournament.
Correct.
Was post-tournament.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So today it's a case of, Banyana won, hey, Desiree, let's go to union buildings. That's the first encounter they have with the president.
Yes.
So there's been no involvement before.
Yeah.
So when you win, it's there.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And that is the thing where I've constantly spoken about how sport is a way out of poverty for many people. You know, you look at a Benny who sits at Old Trafford now.
Yeah.
What was his background? It was Cape Flats.
Yeah.
Quinton Fortuno was there, didn't even play in the PSL, was taken, Frank Lord, boom, gone to Manchester United. And you can roll on a number of these players where you're taken out of, including your Neymars, you know, come from favelas and whatever, and Ronaldinho at the top.
Yeah.
South Africa is the same. So if a man at the top called the president can show an interest in saying, let's improve football. We were complaining about school soccer. Let's get school soccer going. So that these kids, it's not only just about tenders that you can get money, but sport, and especially football, is a driver of interest in this country. So what is stopping it from
But we also have to make a plea to South Africans. You know, we say so much about being a soccer-mad or a football-loving country.
Yeah.
But we don't support our national teams. No. We only support Bafana when it starts winning games. And that's not when they need you. Yeah. Bafana needs the supporters now.
Yeah.
When we have a home game, I want South Africans to be like those Nigerians who will jam-pack that stadium by 9 o'clock in the morning.
And make noise.
And you have 2,000 of them, each of them playing a drum.
Yeah.
Because that unnerves your opposition. Yeah. We, as South Africans, the spectators need to begin to understand the importance of ensuring that nobody comes to South Africa and get a draw even.
We can go in many different directions in terms of this. And you've highlighted how the continuity of the Madiba magic came through from 1995. Then there was an expectation to say, if Madiba comes to the stadium, is he going to do to football what he did to rugby and wear like a Francois Pienaar jersey? You know, so small things like that. Yeah. So would he be wearing a Neil Tovey jersey if we lift the trophy? Yeah. So really in the back of our minds, we are thinking ahead. Hey, there is Madiba there. We can see him. The cameras keep going to him. He's wearing that unique, most beautiful Kappa jersey that when you see it, you see success. Yeah. You know. I know you did not play. But man, the late King Goodwill Zwelitin, president, the Silo Samabanja,
De Klerk.
F.W. de Klerk, the late.
Yeah.
You've got Madiba, the late. Yeah. All of them now have descended upon here at the stadium together. I don't even think historically would have had something like that happen before. And now we're coming together for football. And I've seen all the pictures, and I see how happy... You were as happy as if you had scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
What was that environment like for you, having these leaders, South African leaders?
Yeah, look, the unity first. What made me so happy, it was the unity. Before the final whistle, the supporters, black and white all together, shouting Bafana, Bafana, Shosholo, singing Shosholos. And after the last whistle, the win, all the former and the present president, the kings, the late Steve Stewart, they all together one place, which people thought that ever, one day they'll see De Klerk and Madiba together. And that's when I saw the tears of joy from Madiba, crying. And I went home and asked my dad, I said, how lady president dia khonolla? I know he's human. Because I thought Mandela is something else. It's not human, understand? So, yeah, that's what made me so. If you can look at that picture, I think I was the only happiest ever, like Robert said, or it's like, it's me who scored the winning goal. Yeah, it was unbelievable, man.
So you saw Madiba cry. Who else did you see cry there, Doc?
Well, I wasn't, look, I was too excited. For me, it was a culmination of my dream that I shared with Jomo Solo a few years earlier. I must say, I missed that part. I was dancing. I mean, I saw the footage recently. I'm embarrassed that, you know, how I was rating.
Jaiva.